As you can see, there are some quick links on the left-hand side of this page. I recommend that you take advantage of the how-to videos, the online workshops, and of course, the referencing tool. So clicking on my referencing tool, it's going to take me directly to the Torrens University webpage that allows me to select different areas, such as the type of source for my reference, or if I wanted more information on direct quotations or in-text referencing, I can click here. I actually want to show you how to access and open the Academic Writing Guide. So scroll down further on the left-hand side and select Academic Writing Guide. Now, this is the guide here. Make sure that you save a copy either to your desktop or on your bookmarks or favorites in your browser, depending on what your preference is. Now let's head back to that reference page for Torrens Library. And here we go. Clicking on the Get Started or the home page, you can access the APA 7th referencing guide here. Here's a copy that I have. So what we recommend is that you read through pages 1 to 9 to help you get a better understanding of referencing, and use the search function or click function on the guide so you can head straight to where you might reference somebody else's work. You might need to look at a few options if you're not too sure, but for now, let's click on Web Page or page 15. So just to give you an example of what this looks like, the guide reads from the left column. It will give you an example. So web pages, I can have a look at a web page with no date. I can look at a corporate or government or sponsoring body web page. I might also look at a web page with just one author or even a blog post. Now, in the middle column, this gives us a great example of how you might use this reference in text. So again, using the information based on your reference list, your author, your publication, you're going to create your in-text referencing similar to this column. So your far left column, that's going to give you the specific source. And as you can see, there are examples for web pages with no date, web pages with a corporate or government author, and even blog posts. The middle column is going to show you examples of how you might in-text reference, and that includes the correct way. For example, if you were to take a web page, just in general, not using any evidence within your argument or your assessment, but purely to highlight that you've used it as a source, for example, Canva to create a video, you just pop in the URL in brackets as your in-text referencing, and no additional reference list would be required. So again, I touch on those different nuances based on your sources. So it's really important that you look back at your APA 7 guide and check what the guide states is the correct process. Now, our far right column, this is going to give you the example of your reference list. Again, how that reads should be the author, year of publication, date, title of the document in italics. For this example, it states the Queensland government, or really that's the website, and then the URL again. Now, lastly, I want to show you a quick tool that might help you with your referencing, and I mentioned this before. It's called CiteFast. Lastly, I want to show you a quick tool that might help you with your referencing. Now, I mentioned this before, it's CiteFast. Be careful, it's a quick tool, but it's not always correct. So again, it's really important that you're double checking your work before submission. So make sure when you're using a tool like this, the correct referencing style is indicated This one definitely uses APA 7. Then you want to go ahead and select your source. So again, nice and easy, very simple. Pop in your URL. Now I can see that this information is not quite correct. So it's really important again that you're making sure all of this information is correctly filled out. It's going to help you create that citation. So again, make sure that you fill in all the required details, checking your source where you received that information from. Once you've correctly updated this, and let's assume that it's correct, you can go ahead and save your citation here. So let's go ahead and see what happens. On the right-hand side, you can see that the reference has started to be saved to a reference list. And the great thing about CiteFast, again, it can quickly give you an example of in-text referencing. So again, just clicking on this in-text reference link, it will highlight what that in-text reference should look like based on the information that you've provided before. Once you've gone through and added everything to your reference list, you can go ahead and copy and paste or export that directly into your assessment. Again, please make sure that you're double checking all of your work. Really handy tool to save you with some time, but it's definitely not going to save you with your grades if it's incorrect. So that's a short and handy guide about academic writing and academic referencing for you all. Hopefully you've taken some great tips and you're going to utilize that within your studies.